Rainsflo provides high-performance sealing for all compression packing applications in pumps, process equipment, and valves. The following video will illustrate the procedures for proper installation of a Rainsflo sealing system set. When properly installed, Rainsflo sealing systems will outperform any type or brand of braided packing available in today's market. Each Rainsflo sealing systems have been engineered for your application. Rainsflo has engineered many different sealing systems to meet your particular equipment and process needs. Each Rainsflo sealing system set will supply all the material needed to fill the stuffing box, plus 2 additional rings for later maintenance. Please see the instructions on the reverse side of the board or in the plastic bag on top of the rings in the wooden box. Remove the instructions. There are 2 sets of instructions included with this set. The first, which is the installation and maintenance guide, provides general information on many different types of application. The second is the ring placement diagram, which is designed just for your application. This ring placement diagram will show the correct order in which the rings are to be installed. Correct placement of these rings is critical for proper installation and performance of your Rainsflo sealing system. The tag, which is also included with the instructions, will be attached to the pump after installation. Before installing the sealing system, ensure that all old packing have been completely removed. We recommend that the stuffing box, packing gland bolts, and nuts be cleaned and inspected for damage. This will make the installation quicker and easier. Refer back to the ring placement diagram before starting the installation of the set. The diagram is going to illustrate for your application what rings go in what order. It's important that you look on the ring placement diagram on the set that you bought. Each set will be different. This ring placement diagram illustrates the first ring in is going to be a soft black control collar. Remove the first control collar off of the board. Note when this ring is wrapped around the shaft, the 2 ends are tightly going to butt together. We call this our butt joint. When wrapped around the shaft, the collar, the ends will tightly meet together. Insert the collar evenly into the stuffing box, ensuring the joint does not come apart. Only insert the ring into the lip of the stuffing box. What we want you to do now is use the packing gland to push the rings down in the stuffing box. Instead of your fingers or screwdrivers, the packing gland itself will push the ring down evenly, ensuring the joint stays together and the ring is inserted, like I say, evenly. As per the ring placement diagram, the second ring in this set is a red cloth GFM ring. GFM stands for granulated flowable material. Remove the red cloth ring from the board. The next procedure is going to apply to all the cloth rings, red and black. What I'd like for you to do is lay the ring flat on a clean, hard surface. What we're wanting to do is to compress the ends of the rings from the very end about a ½ an inch inward to half the original thickness. Repeat the same procedure on the other end of the ring. If when hammering the cloth rips a little bit, have no fear, the ring is still in good operating condition and the set will provide the same sealing performance. The reason why we want to do the compression of both ends is when you wrap the cloth rings around the shaft, you'll see that the ring appears to be too long. We do not want you to cut the material. That's why the compression on each end, so that you can physically squeeze the ring one on top of the other and insert it like that. As all packing, you want to stagger the joints as you install the material. With the cloth rings, you want the seam facing you as you insert it into the stuffing box. Insert the joint in first, about 1/8 of an inch, then work from 180 degrees opposite from the joint and push the ring in and also toward the joint. This will allow you to keep the joint together and ensure the overlap stays in form. What we've done is, this is a ring that I pulled out of a pump that has already been packed, and this shows the overlap and why it's important to have this. When it's in there, it's one continuous ring. The overlap, the joins and mends the ring, giving you good sealing performance all the way around the shaft. Once again, use your packing gland to push the rings down into the stuffing box. Keeps them even. Always refer back to your instructions. The third ring in is another black braided control collar. It's installed just like the first one. Remember to stagger your joints. Push it all the way down. The fourth ring in the set is a black cloth ring. Remember, the same procedure is going to go for all the cloth rings. You want to compress the ends of the rings so that you can have the overlap and make the one continuous ring inside the stuffing box. Compress it to half the original thickness. Seam facing you. Insert the joint in first, about 1/8 of an inch. Work the ring in from 180 degrees from the joint, pushing toward the joint and also into the stuffing box. If your joint would slip apart as you're installing the cloth rings, pull the ring out and start over. It's very critical for good sealing performance to have the overlap. Push the gland down. You're going to notice when you get the stuffing box pretty full, you're not able to push the gland all the way down to create enough space to add another ring. As per our ring placement diagram, the diagram is illustrating that we need to put 5 rings of packing in the stuffing box. This is our 4th ring. We do not have enough room to put the 5th ring in. So what we need to do is this time use the gland bolts and nuts. And we're going to use them to do 2 things. We're going to tighten down on the gland bolts to compress the packing. In the same time, we're going to ensure we're seating the packing down to the base of the box. You want to ensure your gland is evenly adjusted. You don't want to cock your gland into your shaft or sleeve. You want to adjust it evenly inward on either side. And continue to tighten to create enough space inside the stuffing box to add the other ring. As you're tightening on the packing gland, you will feel a lot of resistance on the gland bolts. This is very normal. This is what is special about the Rainsflo's installation, is that this compression of the packing, or seating the packing, must take place in order for it to work properly. So to continue adjusting, even though you feel the resistance, until the gland comes about 1/8 of an inch from bottoming out, or you've created enough space to add another ring. If your application is hot, or the pump normally runs hot and is cold when you're packing it, in order to create enough space to add the other ring, you may have to bring your equipment up to operating temperatures, because our material, when it heats up, will loosen and allow you to continue to tighten down on the gland to create the space to add the last ring. Okay, at this time we're going to loosen the gland, take the gland completely off, and get ready to add our last ring. We've removed the gland. It's now getting time to add the last ring in, which is the 5th ring. This sealing system, as per the ring placement diagram, instructs that we have to have 5 rings in before we're able to start up the pump. Same procedure. Compress the ends of the rings down. Every time you install the cloth ring, this must be done. Cloth the seam toward you. Stagger your joints. Ensure the joint stays together. And insert the ring. We know we can't push it down by hand, so once again use your gland bolts and nuts. What we're going to do with this ring is, since this is our final ring, we are going to pre-compress the entire stuffing box packing mass that's already inside the stuffing box, and then do a final adjustment on it to get it ready to go online and operating. But before that, this following procedure must take place. Ensure your gland is evenly adjusted on both sides. We want to tighten the packing gland until until the gland bolts are completely tight. This once again is going to ensure the packing is all the way down to the base of the stuffing box, and more importantly, it's going to ensure that we have compressed the material inside the stuffing box, which must take place for the system to work properly. Once again, you're going to feel the resistance on the bolts. We do not want you to tighten so tight that you're going to bend the ears of the gland or possibly strip out a bolt, but we do want you to feel a lot of resistance before you stop. We want the bolts tight. Resistance is there. Make sure it's evenly adjusted and evenly adjusted. At this time, I want you to completely loosen the packing gland. This will let the packing relax and form the seal that's going to seal the pump up. You want it loose enough that the gland is loose. Let the gland sit like this for 3 to 5 minutes. After that time, I want you to readjust the gland, tightening back up. This time, I want you to adjust it to just a snug feel on the gland bolts. Different applications will require different firmness or the different tightness on the gland bolts. Water applications, slurry, water in suction, horizontal split case pumps, we will want them just about 10 foot-pounds of torque or just snug. On other applications such as gear pumps, progressive cavity pumps, cookers, hydrolyzers, where we want to exceed the 10 pounds and go to 15 to 20 foot-pounds of torque. This one, we want it at 10, so it's just a snug fit. Now it's you're ready to get the pump online and get ready to run and adjust it, and I'll show you how to control your leakage once running and what to expect. Once you have your pump up to operating conditions, what you want to do is check for leakage. Leakage might not be present when you first start it up. You do not have to have leakage in our material. With our material, it can run dry. It will, though, always eventually develop a leak. If you do have leakage, check to see what it is. Sometimes our lubricant will ooze out of the stuffing box. It's a brownish, very lubricious lubricant. If you are having leakage coming out and want to tighten down on the packing to control leakage, the following procedure must take place. You only want to do a half a turn on each gland bolt at a time. After the adjustment has been made, wait 3 to 5 minutes and recheck for leakage. In that 3-minute period, the leakage rate will be reduced from when the initial adjustment was made. Continue to adjust the packing until sealing performance is satisfactory. In the beginning run-in, the stuffing box and gland may be warm. This is a natural property of our material. It's conducting the heat away from the shaft to the stuffing box. Once you've developed and acquired your seal that is acceptable to you, recheck for leakage periodically for the first week, and then refer to the maintenance memo for further instructions. With each set, an equipment tag is included. This tag we request that you attach to the pump after your installation. The tag is going to point out that you have packed this pump with different material. The tag will have a service number on there. It has the equipment description. It will have the part number for reordering, and then some simple steps and instructions to follow. Remember, only add Rainsflo material on top of the sealing system. Leave the 2 additional rings that are left over in the packaging that it came in. This will identify what equipment the rings are for and will keep the rings clean and in shape for later use. Attach the ring placement diagram back with the rings for later reference. Rainsflo has created an installation tips memo which will also support you on your first installation. Rainsflo's maintenance tip memo will remind you on how to adjust the sealing system, but will also instruct you on how and when to add the extra maintenance rings. If you are scheduled to replace your packing every 3 months, 6 months, or yearly, and you have not added the extra rings, discard the extra rings or return them to Rainsflo. Repack with a new complete sealing system set. This concludes this installation video. However, remember, Rainsflo sealing systems can be installed wherever braided packing is being used. Rainsflo will last 2 to 3 times longer than braided material while greatly reducing leakage. With Rainsflo, you will reduce maintenance time, resulting in reduced overall cost. Stop cleaning up after your pumps, mixers, or cookers. fix the problem, install Rainsflo ceiling systems. If you have any questions or comments, our service number is 1-800-231-4209.